What's up guys, Creeps here, and yes, I know I'm late, but yesterday was an amazing day for the WWE Games community when WWE 2K's YouTube channel uploaded the hit list, the official hit list, the 10 biggest innovations coming to the next installment of WWE Games. Before we get into this, let's watch the trailer. Unfortunately, I have had to replace the music due to copyright, but as I digress, let's watch this together. Now that is a lot to take in. We have GM mode returning. We have My Rise, which is sort of 2K's new spin on My Career mode. We have so many cool new features coming to WWE 2K22. We have those graphics. Those graphics are insanely good. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be running through the trailer bit by bit, and I'm going to be pointing out what I found in the trailer and what hits different for me. So let's go. So we see Rey Mysterio making his way to the ring in what I think is the Monday Night Raw arena. We're zooming in the crowd and we can see AJ Styles t-shirts. We've got the Hurt Business, Randy Orton, and we've got another AJ Styles t-shirt that I can't exactly make out what that pink shirt is, but I'm sure someone in the comments will know. So we see gameplay from behind Ricochet's entrance and the hit list. 10 features that make WWE 2K22 different. You see Goldberg there, redesigned gameplay engine. Now this, let me just stop it here. Now, other than the graphics obviously looking really good, I've noticed that the camera is also quite close compared to previous WWE installments. And obviously with the new engine, everything's been built from the ground up. So obviously things are going to look a bit different and act a bit different as well. With this new game engine, should make for smoother gameplay, smoother graphics, and an overall better gaming experience. Now before we get onto the controls, we see our first preview of the models for Big E and Montez Ford as they square off in the Monday Night Raw arena. Now another main thing I want to point your attention to is the new hood bar. You can see Montez Ford, you've got his health, you've got what I think is momentum underneath. I'm not too sure about that. It could be finishes, I don't know. But the new hood looks really clean, it looks really slick, and I'm liking the new overall look of the layout. Now as we look at the controls for WWE 2K22, we can see there's actually a lot of differences, as well as a new mechanic for triangle, holding triangle, which is block. That's something new we've never seen in WWE 2K games. I don't think we've ever seen it in a past WWE game, I'm not too sure. But this new control scheme has divided a lot of fans, I've noticed. Some say they love it, some say they hate it. It's really 50-50 on the whole matter. We've got a new mechanic, hold triangle to block. Now this is actually quite big because we're so used to always reversing our opponent's attacks that we never thought about a block function. But it's really good to see 2K stepping up and adding new physics to the game, adding new mechanics and stuff like the blocking feature. This is something that's going to change up matches a lot, because reversals can sometimes get a bit too hectic or a bit too stale after a certain amount of time, so block could be a good way to sort of balance that out. Also, we have the old school way of pinning your opponent with the right stick down Repositioning the opponent is quite the same, and then we've got the finisher, signature, payback and submission, which all use the R2 button with a combination of either X, square, triangle or circle to do different attacks. And also grapple is now circle, heavy attack X, and square is light attack. This new control system is probably the most different it's been in a really long time. Obviously WWE 2K20 changed the control system, but this feels like an entirely new control system. So I'm looking forward to testing it out and seeing if this new control system really helps the game. Now this, can we just pause this right here? Right there. Edge looks the best he's ever looked in any WWE video game. The amount of detail that is on his face, that it actually looks like Edge now. As we've seen in previous WWE games, Edge hasn't exactly looked like the Radar Superstar Edge. And here we see another example of all the detail that is in these character models. Here we see Bayley. It's obvious that 2K has put a lot of effort into designing these character models to make the next WWE game the best it can be. Next up we have what seems to be confirmation of Rey Mysterio's 2K Showcase. 2K Showcase is a bit of a hit and miss when it comes to these games, because you've got some amazing 2K Showcases. Obviously the debut of it with CM Punk versus John Cena and Shawn Michaels versus Triple H, but there's been quite a lot of people who have felt recently that 2K Showcase hasn't been living up to expectations. So hopefully with this Rey Mysterio 2K Showcase we can play some legendary matches like Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero is one of Rey Mysterio's biggest rivals and one of his biggest friends, and I think the legacy of Eddie Guerrero will be amazing to have in this as part of the 2K Showcase. And now we have probably the biggest announcement for WWE 2K22 for wrestling fans alike. We have My GM, otherwise known as General Manager Mode. This has probably been the most asked for game mode in, I want to say, the last 8 years. GM mode has always been popular with fans. It's always been a hit game mode, and finally they're bringing it back in 2K22. Now as we look at the new layout for the General Manager mode in 2K22, what does everyone want? No, it's not what you're thinking. It's not Al Snow. Everybody wants a WWE draft, and that's exactly what GM mode is bringing you in 2K22. You can draft your superstars, you can view how much they cost, you can view what kind of class they are, their popularity, what looks like their stamina, if they're a face or a heel, or maybe a tweener. There might be a tweener option, I don't know yet. But GM mode is back and it's looking amazing already. We can see the match card, we can see promos, we can see the main event and how much it costs. Now the one thing I will say about this, the one thing that did disappoint me, was the fact that you can only have 3 matches, it appears, on each of your shows. Now again, I must digress, this isn't confirmation that there'll only be 3 matches, it's just what we can see from this screenshot. Personally, I think 3 matches isn't enough for a weekly show like SmackDown and Raw. Maybe you're able to scroll down, I don't know yet. But as I digress, another big change coming to WWE 2K22 is the return of real-life renders. The real-life renders were removed in WWE 2K17 and replaced with the models in the game for the main menus. Again, this is something that's similar to the control scheme where it's sort of a 50-50. Some people prefer the models because when going against a core, it looks more presentable. Whereas in the render, it does give that real life aspect to it. As we move on, we see the head of the table, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and my god, his model looks insane. It's exactly like Edge and Bayley's, where it actually looks like the person. Next up, we have a new game mode called My Faction. Now, I'm not too sure how this works. It could be similar to EA's Ultimate Team, but I'm not too sure yet. You maybe have to take up your own faction, and you might have to lead them through WWE into earning certain accolades in weekly events. That's what it seems like to me. But My Faction is debuting in WWE 2K22 and hopefully we'll find out more about it in the near future. Next up in the trailer we have My Rise, which is 2K's new spin on My Career mode. As we see there, we have confirmation of obviously Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, Mustafa Ali are the ones who get thrown off of that huge structure. We have Raquel Gonzalez, we have Shayna Baszler, and we have Kaylee Ray. Now I'm going to give credit to Smack Talks for this one because that's who I originally found it out from his video. But you see that person on the left? That's actually Buddy Murphy. Remember when Buddy Murphy was part of Seth Rollins' sort of messiah phase of his career? That's Buddy Murphy, which gives a strong chance that some of the previously released WWE superstars could make it into this game. The likes of Braun Strowman, the likes of possibly Bray Wyatt. There was a strong chance that a lot of these superstars could make it into 2K22. Next up we have Universe Mode. Now Universe Mode I think has been a tiny bit changed. Since My GM is now a thing, I think most of the Universe Mode features have been moved to My GM to make way for some new changes for Universe Mode. What it appears to be is that you can control one superstar in Universe Mode and play throughout their weekly lives as a WWE superstar. That's what it sounds like to me, which could be quite interesting. Next we're going to be talking about the Creations Suite, more specifically Create a Superstar. We've got 4 new starting classes. We've got Striker, Technician, Powerhouse and High Flyer. All of these different classes have different abilities and different attributes, as well as having their own unique payback. So that's it for the hit list. I was actually surprised at a lot of this. I was surprised at GM mode, I was surprised at the new game engine, I was surprised at a lot of stuff in this video, and as you can see Goldberg making a sentence there, the fireworks, the pyro actually looks brand new as well. So obviously the full details are to come starting January 2022. That's when we're all going to join together and find out more about WWE 2K22. But I have been Creeps. Thank you for watching my breakdown of this trailer, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace!